This is going to be a step-by-step walkthrough of a video. I'll leave a link for it below in the description, as well as my backup copy of Christmas 2020 view west by southwest from a fisheye camera mounted above 154 2nd Avenue North, installed February 2019. Over here on the left, you're going to be able to see a police officer walking from 201 Commerce Street towards 144 2nd Avenue North. There's another video poorly done and tilted that shows him walking around. I'm not reposting it because someone won't post the original video in its entirety and just get the hell out of the way. And everybody keeps putting their logos over the top of the videos. I have to keep removing it so they can't file false copyright claims. The police officer's car is stopped here. It was originally over here, and here he is walking. You can watch the video and see this in progress. We hear, "This area must be evacuated now," and a boinging noise 3 times, and then if you can hear this message, "evacuate now" twice before a detonation right after the word "now" is done. A police officer in Commerce Street and 2nd Avenue North intersection is visible right here. I'm going to emphasize that, go back and forth. Later on we see him after the explosion, or another police officer actually, could be either, shown. The police officer finishes walking from 201 Commerce Street to 144 2nd Avenue North, which I'll provide a view of. Let's go back again. He's gone up the street here, and you can just barely see the changes of him moving. It's very hard to see because it's very ghostly. At 25-second mark, explosion and screen mostly whites out for 25 seconds approximately while you hear alarms starting. You get a couple of frames that show, single frames specifically, material impacts between explosive flashes and or the color camera sensor attempting to compensate but fluttering. You can see what's going on here. This metal post is blown off by something impacting it. In fact, this could be the object coming into view right there. Or it could be that object downrange there. This is right before the person is walking in that area. The next frame is literally white. Most of the screen is that way for the screen image. There are a couple of little bits of data here and there. Then we get to here. At 57 seconds, black and white video only, street lights are out, and at the 108 mark, building debris starts falling in a stream over the sidewalk, trailing over part of the road right here, you'll see in these frames. The stream of building debris trailing off over part of the road stops falling approximately at the 1 minute and 50-second mark. It's a very slow progression, but you can see it emphasized here. And you can see this object laying down right there. That's another object probably from the building, but I don't know what it is exactly. You can see a police car arriving, upper left here, along with what appears to be a stream of debris here building up between frames. I can't figure out exactly what it is. It could just be the height of the light source dropping, causing a shadow. I honestly don't know what's causing it, but you see it going along and it's weird. And then right here you can see a change, because after the police officer arrives, he comes over to here, leaves the car, moves into the road towards the sidewalk, then ends up in the intersection because he walks around the vehicle, goes to the sidewalk as he's trained to do, and walks over here, putting himself in the middle of all of it. He's right behind the tree here, but you can see him moving around in the video. Next, you see only one thing difference between these two screen images. And that's this flash here of some part of the person's body or whatever, or maybe a blinker on the dog turning on and off. That's the dog walker. As the dog walker passes this light, the light comes on. And the cop moves more into the road so you can see him here. He moves more into the road instead of towards the sidewalk. Probably calling to him because the guy, the dog walker, right here, then crosses the road. Or he goes towards crossing it. The street light fully comes on, as the dog walker passes, and the cop moves even more into the road slightly after this point. Now, this is approximately the end of all of it. In the next 20 seconds or so, another police car arrives, and the dog walker on sidewalk is at 201 Commerce Street. He's gone actually past all of this, and we now see the police officer having moved to here and is closest to the same sidewalk. At 5 seconds later or less, sound and motion completely stops, freeze framing the entire scene, and the video ends 30 seconds later at 4:17. And that's it. Now, in this, I'm going to have to compare this to another video where there's a camera over here on a metal post looking in the intersection, looking this way. You see this car, and you don't see these things moving much. I'm going to go back and forth between them. But there's no sign of a vehicle down here at this angle that you could see by this. That means it's not close to here. You don't see a van there, at least not really. You're looking at it, and you see this car, but you do not see a van, at least not really. I can't see a van there. I can see a small car, and then way down the line you might be able to see what looks like a van, but I can't tell. Therefore, there isn't a van from this vantage point close to here. The only van you might be able to see is the forced perspective effect of a fisheye lens way down there, and that may actually be the camper van that went off. And this is where you're still seeing that cop who's in the other video taken from this street view camera. But anyway, as you can see from the differences here, there's not much that can be seen from this camera, except that we don't see the cars moving much. There's not a lot of impacts. Physical objects, random objects, pieces of things, pieces of that RV specifically, came through, and garbage cans came through and mashed into this. Pieces of garbage cans were torn apart. The force was extremely strong, and this is very important, in a very small focused area. That indicates, as far as I know, I don't know, but that indicates very high velocity or high explosives. Not a fertilizer bomb, I don't think. It's not a pushing force. It's more of a shock wave. But I don't know. I mean, we're still waiting for data to show up. Now for the locations these images were taken from or referencing to in my description. This is 201 Commerce Street according to Google Street View. This is also the angle that matches up most closely, although there's a better one, of what would be seen on a video camera that was posted on a metal post directly behind where this image was taken from. And it views these buildings, and right there, you're looking at where the camera is. It also sees downrange where there's a truck that can be seen, but we can't tell because the perspective is kind of screwy. I'll be doing a separate video on that to show whether or not we're actually seeing the actual van detonating. We don't see that van or that box vehicle blow up. We see an explosion way down the block. This is a long block. That's the camera that was installed apparently February of 2019. In fact, I'm pretty dang sure it is. The other street views show it, and that's the camera's position. Again, it's right under that sign, and it's looking almost exactly towards us. That's the camera we were observing in this video. This is a view up the street, down towards it. Again, the camera's over here. This is the corner where all of the activity with the police officers is happening. This is the pathway approximately that the first police officer takes just before the explosion is seen from the other view, which again is a video nobody will post in its entirety without putting crap on it trying to get copyright control over it. This is a view from approximately Street View, Google Street View, of what we would have seen in color if we had a high-resolution version of that bug-eyed camera or that fisheye camera. It shows you the perspective view approximately. It's not exactly right, but it's pretty close. But again, we're in the middle of the road, we're going to have a different angle, but there's plenty of ways that you could see car lights and that sort of thing, and it might confuse a person analyzing the video, including me. That concludes my review of my analysis, badly done, of the Christmas 2020 view, west by southwest, from a fisheye camera mounted above 154 2nd Avenue North, installed February 2019. A color video that went black and white after an explosion, showing police officers, a dog walker, a dog, and the effects of an explosion between frames on 2nd Avenue North from the perspective of approximately Commerce Street. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that.